You know, it's been a while since I made a video that's just me rambling about how awful the government is and make my case for why 90% of it should be basically just outright deleted and we should stop doing all that stuff. But actually, today we have some improvements that have been made in government. That is a shocker. And the first one, I know that you guys are going to know this one already, but Pam Bondi has been fired. Yes! I have maintained that Pam Bondi has been the single worst pick that Donald Trump has appointed in either of his terms. I mean, if you just go through scandal by scandal by scandal, but I mean, you don't even have to go there for our purposes because we know that she is a big government statist hack. And it always seemed to me, and I couldn't tell you which one happened first, but it always seemed like the administration would come out and be like, yeah, we want to do XYZ Second Amendment. We know that most of that's lip service, right? But then like literally the next day, Pam Bondi would do something stupid.
Assault rifles, AK-47s, AR-15s with a suppressor.
The ATF right now is talking about doing a frame and receivers rule 2.0. And it's all surrounding the fact that Bondi's tenure didn't resolve any of those issues. And we still had to sue him.
So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
I know. I've used those clips like 1,000 times in the last year, and I'm not sorry for it because they're a perfect representation of her ideology. And look, I got to get in one more time because this may be the last time I get to use them, or at least I hope it's the last time that I get to use them because goodbye and good riddance. Get out of here. Yesterday, it happened yesterday. So, I know that a lot of people are like, hey, you know, they're just going to replace her. And I'm like, duh. I mean, she was the Attorney General of the United States. Of all the positions that should be eliminated in the United States government, probably not the Attorney General. But I hear a lot of people like, oh, well, they're just going to replace her with somebody worse. And I'm like, I don't know if there is anybody really all that much worse. Because, like, I know that I've compared her to Merrick Garland on more than one occasion. There are only a few redeeming qualities that Pam had over Merrick Garland. I mean, he was kind of just like a moping, angry dude all the time because he's got like, I got passed over for the Supreme Court, so I'm just going to fuck America in the ear hole anytime Sleepy Joe tells me to, or whoever the heck was actually running the government when he was eating his ice cream and sleeping. But when you take him and then also his attorney general, or not attorney general, ATF director, Dettelbach was a boob. And when you take those two and smash them together, I mean, I'll put it to you like this, okay? When I go over to my parents' house for dinner, I get to hear about how much they like Pammy and how good of a job she's doing, and she's just a breath of fresh air. Puking in my mouth. Bleh. By contrast, when you look at Diddle Dude and Garland, they hated those two dudes with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. So when you've got somebody who is basically the same person in lipstick, it's in some ways worse, that has basically infiltrated themselves in there, and the rank and file that don't really pay all that much attention just don't see it because all they get is, you know, either everybody's awful because CNN, or everybody's great over there because it's Fox News, right? Like these people that are not good for the country being in those positions get by because they're the selected person. And there's nobody out there in the legacy press that really challenges it. And if the general populace only gets that, then they don't even know about this.
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech.
I mean, positive things that you could say, I suppose, are that she was upbeat, which is pretty characteristic of people who have been placed into a position that puts them way outside their depth. So, I mean, that makes sense. But if you want to know whether Pam Bondi was a good pick outside of all the awful stuff that she did while she was in that position, or if she was good for America, the first, second, fourth, fifth, the Constitution of the United States, you could just cover it all. Anybody who receives the sympathy of the legacy press is not good for America. And that's what's going on right now. Everybody's like, oh, well, poor Pam Bondi. Nah, out of here. Goodbye and good riddance. So who's going to replace her? Well, we don't actually know right now. We do know that Todd Blanche is going to be acting Attorney General, and I'm not particularly thrilled with Blanche either. I mean, he's the dude who stood up there and said, we're going to back the blue. Literally like that. I probably can't find the clip at this point in time. It was so long ago. But not particularly impressed with him. I don't expect that he will probably be the dude, but there will be probably a war over it. But what I am going to tell you is that we are going over to some friends' houses tonight, and I'm going to party. Woo! We got Bondi Fired.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
Today's video is brought to you by the Modern Gun School. This is an accredited online university. Whether you're looking to learn a few things or trying to break into a career in the firearms industry, this place is set up to be streamlined and work for you so that you don't have to burn a large quantity of money to get an education in the firearms arts. And that gives you some latitude to pursue other educational pursuits like a business degree on top of your firearms education. So go check them out at Modern Gun School and tell them that I sent you. Which brings me up to our second story today, which has to do with the Department of War and Secretary Pete Hegseth. I'm going to show you a video excerpt here in just a second, but real quick background for anybody who doesn't know. This is going to sound really strange to some of you, but military installations are actually pretty soft targets, or at least they were up until like today, because for the most part, unless you were part of the security team, as in you were on duty, on guard duty, on watch, you were disarmed on military bases. And we've seen a rash of incidents over the course of the last several years where somebody bent on evil and to do harm has shown up to one of those places, and the vast majority of folks that they encounter were helpless. If you look at the Fort Hood shooting, I believe the local law enforcement were the ones who actually put that dude down, if memory serves me right. So the whole concept that you have military personnel, particularly military personnel that are well-trained, you can make arguments for the stratification of capabilities for the United States military, and I know that I rag on law enforcement a whole lot and their capabilities with their weapons, but by and large, the United States military knows what they're doing when it comes to guns. The idea that military personnel on a base don't have access to anything to defend themselves is absolutely ludicrous. Okay, let's hear from the secretary.
Our great republic was founded on a simple yet bold idea. Our rights as citizens are not granted to us by government, but instead by God. 250 years ago, the Revolutionary War was fought to secure our God-given rights. The Second Amendment to our Constitution enshrines the right of all citizens to carry weapons to protect themselves, their families, and their fellow countrymen. The War Department's uniformed service members are trained at the highest and unwavering standards. These warfighters, entrusted with the safety of our nation, are no less entitled to exercise their God-given right to keep and bear arms than any other American.
Yes, that guy, Attorney General, there, ATF, all of them, just do it all.
The memo I'm signing today directs installation commanders to allow requests for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm, with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection. If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for that denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. Again, the presumption is service members will be able to have their Second Amendment right on post. Not all enemies are foreign, nor are they all outside our borders. Some are domestic. Confirming your God-given right to self-protection is what I'm signing into action today, and I'm proud to do so.
I'm kind of jealous of Pete Hegseth's Jerusalem tattoo. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh man, I want a Jerusalem tattoo. I wish I had thought about that. Now I can't have one because I feel like I'm copying Pete Hegseth. But in all seriousness, like, this is the type of rhetoric that I want in my leaders. And I think his justification is 100% sound. So any way that you slice it, good day for the Second Amendment, folks. One flaming idiot out. And I'm sleep deprived because I've got a newborn at home, so I can't really finish that one. I don't even know where I was going with that.